notice. There we go. So for those of you who I don't know yet, I'm Karen Giberson. I run the Accessories Council, which is a not-for-profit trade association. We're located in New York, but our members are all over the country and all over the world. And in fact, as I look at some of the people who registered, I see Deborah from Philadelphia, Alzarina. We had Alessandra on earlier. She's from Las Vegas. So we have a pretty big spread of people just joining us this afternoon. So if you're not speaking, just keep yourself on mute for now. And again, all the questions, you can put them along the way into the chat. You can put them into the comment box. We'll make sure we get to everything when we're done. And so Shahzad, welcome. Thank you for taking the time to join us today. I know that we have a lot of our members who ask often about the luxury space and what's happening and how can I enter that space. So we have an expert, and I'm going to ask you to, if you want to share your slides and tell us about yourself and what you do.
Thank you very much, Karen, and thank you very much for Accessory Councils for giving the opportunity to talk, to meet very amazing, interesting people through the platform of Accessories Council. I'm honored. Thank you very much for the time. We'll share a few information today. We'll try to talk about what is happening on the luxury scene in terms of what happened before, what is going to happen. And we talk about mostly on the inferences of how the marketing landscape of luxury, not only from the US market, but primarily a little bit more on the global scene as well, because we do impact each other. So I'll start off with a little bit of a presentation. I'll share my screen with you guys so that you can see. I hope I'm on the screen now. Okay, so okay, very good. So just to give you a little bit of brief about myself, I'm just going very quickly into these slides. I don't know, like talk much more about me, but just to get you introduced myself. So I have been basically a professor of futuristic, luxury. I have done projects like the Scent. I've been consulting niche brands. I have been chairman of the board, the Fragrance Foundation for the Middle East for around 12 years. I have consulted these brands in terms of marketing, branding, and all that. So they are more global brands from US, Europe, and Asia, and Middle East primarily. I have lectured a few universities: FIDM, ESMO in Dubai, it's a Paris University, Harrod, which is Scottish, PT Imagine in Italy, FIDM in LA. Right now I'm teaching at City Tech. So I do that. And then obviously, because I have worked mostly on industries rather than brands. So my experience is more about the landscape of industry from the holistic view rather than on a more kind of a focused view. So that's what I think brings out the entire analysis and the aspect of the business, what's going on. Let's talk about, so these are the topics we talk about today. And so that's my very brief intro. Karen?
I am right here.
Okay.
Thank you. That's quite an impressive list of brands that you have worked with. So I guess, we're approaching the holiday season and it's gift giving time. What's happening in luxury today? What's the current landscape of luxury?
See, there is we all say, and I think we do all of us understand that there is a pre-pandemic and there is a post-pandemic world. We have to, I think everybody is accepting it, and we are into a reset game right now. And there's so many new norms of business have been created for the last 2.5, 3 years. And now we are getting into the new ropes of the business. Everyone is learning. So I was talking to someone that And I'm doing something, a project which we will discuss later. They said, "Are you doing it first time?" I said, "Yes, I'm doing first time after COVID. But before that, I have done maybe more than 20 times. But I always tell them that I'm doing first time because it's the first timer." So in terms of the luxury, obviously, and especially when we talk about the designer luxury, there is a lot of trends are coming. I can share with you 5 top trends right away. These are the 5, I would say, iconic pillars of futuristic designer luxury, which in my view are the core components which will shape the scene and the future of designer luxury into the future. Number 1 is craftsmanship, for sure. Craftsmanship is the key component of any luxury brand. And we can discuss that in detail also, but for now, craftsmanship. Number 2 is definitely technology, how metaverse, Web3, AI is helping the luxury in order to create, not only to create, but also to help them segment and identify their consumers. So technology is the second one. The third one is personalization. It has to be personal. You cannot go generic anymore. You cannot create 200 pieces and then look for the customers. You have to create one piece for Karen. You have to create one piece for Shazad. And that's what the personalize. And as per my preferences, as per my choices, that's I'm talking about designer luxury. The fourth one is obviously non-commercialism. When I say non-commercialism, that does not mean that you do not market yourself. Non-commercialism means you do not get into the push marketing trail. You don't get into too much of loud marketing. You don't get too much of advertising, communication. So you do not basically create a clutter into your marketing campaign. You try to strain yourself. You try to create yourself as a brand that attracts people, that attracts the right market towards you. Because I consult brands, people come to me and they say, you know what? People are asking me discounts. People are not ready to pay my price. Should I lower my price? I always tell them, you don't have to lower your price. You might have to shift your target market. You might have to change your target market to a different customers because maybe you're not selling or you're not marketing or you're not communicating to the right people. So definitely non-commercialism. The fifth one and last one, which is very, very important, is sustainability. Sustainability is not only about making these things green or creating the waste, or lower the waste and all that. Sustainability is all about how do we utilize our things? How do we, somebody said to me, I think a month ago, very beautiful things. She said to me, Shazad, if you have a dress which is with you for more than 5 years, that is sustainability and that's luxury. If you're reusing them, if you have like in a year, you are using like 20 pair of jeans, that's not sustainability. If you have 3 pair of jeans for the last 5 years, that's sustainability and that's luxury. So these are my 5 top landscape on the futuristic luxury, designer luxury for the future. Karen.
Got it. I do want to ask, what have you seen in those pillars that changed since pre-pandemic? Is there anything that's kind of become more important to pay attention to, or are these principles that are forever?
Yeah, 2 points. I would say personalization and sustainability. These 2 points have gone because as I think most of you will understand, sustainability got direct relationship with personalization. Personalization means custom made. Personalization means less waste. Personalization means no returns. When even you forget about the waste, when even you return a piece which does not fit you or which the fabric does not, you don't like, or maybe it does not have those accessories which you asked, even returning a piece to the retailer or to the vendor, we are hurting the environment. So these 2 things, obviously, sustainability and personalization, have created a big impact within the designer industry.
Okay, so I need to dive in then to the pillar of technology, and I heard you mention metaverse, and why is it important for luxury to plant their flag in that space, and how else might successful luxury brands be using technology to tell their story and promote their brands these days?
First of all, I would share with you what need not to be done. What need not to be done, and I have seen it. I don't want to name the brands, but I have seen that top luxury brands are adopting, not embracing. They are adapting to technology just as a marketing gimmick. That they are creating some NFTs, they are getting into Web3, they are talking about metaverse, they are talking about technology, just because they don't want to lose the train that, oh, we have to hop on the technology train. That's not the point. The point is how you are utilizing the technology. What is the utility of it? NFTs are great, but what is the utility of it? Those NFTs, and I think we all have seen that, all NFTs, which has some and bigger margin of utility, they are still sustaining in the market. Without utility, these NFTs are fading away. That's number one. Number two is the best technology and these metaverse, especially the metaverse and Web3, how that, and I just mentioned how they can be used is to identify the right target market for yourself. What is the dream of any retailer or any brand? To find the right customers for you at the right price, at the right quality. This technology is helping them tremendously. That is one. The second is how to communicate, as you just mentioned, how to tell this story. Because I don't want to keep on talking to the wrong audience, or I don't want to talk to the right audience with the wrong story. So these two have to gel somehow. You cannot tell the right story to the wrong people and the wrong story to the right people. Technology can help us tremendously to get this puzzle solved very quickly. And that's what very intelligent companies are doing. But Karen, I must tell you, most of the medium to small luxury designer companies are doing that. I haven't seen a bigger company, maybe I'm not aware of this yet, but up till now, I haven't seen a big, huge multinational luxury designer brand embracing it the way it should embrace in terms of and utilize. And because this is where the impact will happen. Once the bigger companies will start adopting technology in order to utilize it into the best in terms of sustainability and personalization, then you will see the change.
I must ask, are there, and I'm excited to hear that the smaller companies are using it, because most of our members in the luxury space are indeed smaller companies. So can you give me some examples of either brands or that are doing it right, or are there platforms or are there certain technology companies that you think are helpful in guiding guiding the process, or just any more insight on the
I can give you, for example, very intelligent and very interesting, and it's all over. Sephora is doing this right now, and in fact, L'Oreal started it. It was basically the face recognition for the beauty products. So if you put your face and there is an app, they have created a technology. And there are two companies basically. One is face with the makeup and beauty, and one is the fashion. Let me talk about the face first, the makeup first. So what you do is that you put yourself into your phone, in front of your phone. You click your picture, and that technology basically scan your entire face and tell you what are your dry places, what are your oily places, and then within the brand, for example, for L'Oreal, they will tell you what are the creams, what are the serums, what are the lotions, what are the foundations you need to use, which best suits your skin. So that not only resolve the problem, but also avoids wrong buying of things which get wasted later. Because I might buy a stuff and I throw it away because I might not return it, but I throw it away because it's not that expensive for me, and I throw it away and it's waste. So that's one. The second is when you create from the fashion company who have created an app where that app create your own avatar, exactly measuring your entire body measurements. And then if you pick a dress, you take the dress and that avatar wears that dress and walks on the ramp. Your entire body and your entire dress moves around you the way you walk. So you can see yourself walking wearing that dress. That makes a customer more convinced and more comfortable about taking their buying decision. These are two very simple, very generic examples.
I note the way you have the role of tech on the same line as the role of human interface. And, when making a luxury purchase, it feels like it's a time where you want to be connected to the human behind it, or I want to know the designer, I want a relationship there somehow. Can you talk a bit about what that human interface should look like?
See, technology is great, but we need to utilize the technology, not that we just leave technology to do all the work. It has a human touch. We're in the business of luxury, fashion, accessories, beauty. All these things are human senses. You cannot take the human interaction, and that's why I talk about it all the time. Human interaction is as crucial as the technology is. We have to create technology. We have to create and have a lot of interaction with technology in order to improve the human interaction, not to avoid it. I think that we have to create something, and there are brands who are doing this. For example, I just shared with you the L'Oreal example, or Sephora is doing right now. They are trying to get closer to you, trying to solve your problem through the help of technology, but they are not putting everything. I have very bad examples of technology which people have done it. Let me share one. I don't want to name the brand. A few years back, I think most of us have seen that there was a fashion show happening, and there was a brand who basically take their own dresses on the ramp, not with the models, but with the drones. So drones were basically taking the dresses across the ramp. So that was too pushy to the technology. We are human. We need people to wear the dresses. We don't want drones to take away from them. That was too much.
Interesting. So I'm going to ask, I think I'll insert the question now before we get farther in the conversation, because as I look at our members who are on the call, a lot of them are small or emerging luxury brands. And, I think it's a hard space to be small and emerging in. So what advice might you have for our members who are getting started or restarted? And, as we go forward and talk about social media and do's and don'ts, how might we think about it from, not LVMH size companies, but, amazing crafted, beautiful designed product without the the name recognition of some of those bigger known brands?
See, the smaller to medium brands, to my understanding, have the biggest opportunity in our lifetime. I can see it. I think maybe if not a century, I would definitely say from the last 50 years, this is the biggest opportunity we are getting right now for the smaller to medium brands. And I will tell you why I'm saying this. Why I'm saying this, because of this technology we got into habit of during this COVID, like Zoom meetings, webinars, Instagram interviews, and all that. The way we have got into, even we are in the same city, we try to get the technology in. That's number one. The opportunity, to my understanding, for the smaller and medium is to get to know their customers wherever they are without any boundaries. The most crucial and the most important, I would say, effort they need to invest their time into is to know your customers. They need to understand the psychology, the philosophy, and the economic standards of their customers, their target market. The more they refine their target market, the more success they will get into their business. The more they get more generic, you don't have to sell the product on your price, the kind of product you have made. You have to create the product for the people at the price they want, at the quality they need. So the more you know your customers, and now with this technology, you can know people from across the board, across the border, across the continent. So I would say the first point is know your customer very well. Get personal. Like if, for example, and when I'm say this, I'm very serious about this. Even you have, for example, you have 2,000 customers. You cannot know the names of all 2,000, but at least you can know at least 50 customers of your own, and create a pool of those 50 customers, and then try to understand them and expand their experiences with the rest of your, with rest of your customers. The point is, the more you know, and do not follow any other brand to copy them. Do not try to learn, because each brand have their own experience, they have their own journey, they have their own market experience, and their entire customer profile is different. You have to create your own base, and the best base to create is from your own customers. Talk to them, communicate to them, listen to them, interact with them, and create your marketing, product, pricing, strategy on the basis of those inferences, with a couple of your own short-term and long-term objectives.
Well, we certainly, everyone that I know on this call uses social media to help promote their brands. We've certainly seen social media go wrong for luxury brands. All one has to do is follow, Diet Prada to get an idea of who's going wrong today. What are your thoughts on how to use the tools that we have wisely to help grow our brands?
See, in social media, again, I would say we have to talk about more beyond than our own product. You have to create some kind of a community for the discussion. Like, you cannot keep on talking about, this is my product, this is the discount, this is the value, and this is the price. You cannot keep on doing that. You have to talk about the industry. You have to talk about what you are doing and how you are different from others and what value you are bringing. And it's not that you are better, but I would say you're different. Because different means that you are serving another customer profile base, which will help you. That's number one. Number two into this is that you don't have to push yourself towards your customers. Let them interact with you. Two-way dialogue is the key on social media as well, because social media is the platform which helps you to communicate. So I would say, just not keep on sending messages to the people. Try to get their info as well. Try to get what they want out of it, and then try to adapt with your own recommendations, with your own strategy as well.
That's great advice. Okay, your do's and don'ts. Maybe we should start with don'ts and then put do's and, start off with the opportunities. And
okay. Don'ts is obviously, to start with, number one don't is, do not overproduce. Don't create things, don't create inventory, don't create stocks. Futuristic designer luxury, never do that. That's number one. So do not try to create.
I must ask though, sometimes factories require minimums. Sometimes you have to make certain amount.
So I would say a certain amount just to create an example of it. But if you create the stock, one, you're not in designer luxury domain, number one. And number two, you will be hurting your income. You will be hurting your cost of business. On top of it, you are building up your inventory, and it will be overheads on you. And not the least, you're not sustainable anymore. So that's number one don't, is do not create a lot of stock with you. So try, because things change. The other don't of is, again, I just said in the beginning, commercialism. do not create like whistle, bells, rings, flowers around you in terms of marketing and communication. You have to be subtle. You have to be a little bit, I would say, you have to create a voice, not the noise. So create a voice, but not the noise. The other don't is definitely, and I'm a big convinced to that, because commercialism I've talked about, but the biggest problem, what we're doing as a futuristic designer luxury, when we try to implement copy paste, try to avoid that. Try not to be Chanel, try not to be Dior, try to be yourself. If you are, for example, Shazad, try to be Shazad. Create your own signature work. Even your name is not there. If I see your product or service, I should recognize, oh, this is the work of XYZ. So create your own identity. It might take time. It might take a lot of effort, but I would say stick to this rather than creating or copying or adapting or even getting, I have seen, I've talked to like, young designers. Oh, I'm really impressed with that designer, or I'm really influenced. I'm taking reference. Don't do that. You are the brand. You are the brand custodian. There has to be your signature on your product. So create your own brand identity. So these are like, so do not copy. So these are the definitely don'ts. In terms of do's, obviously, I've said craftsmanship, non-commercialism, adapt technology big time, as much as you can, in order to identify, lower your cost, identify your customers, and try to understand, use technology in terms of utility, not just as a say that I use technology. So these are the 2-3 do's, and I can share more when we talk.
Wonderful. Okay, so if anybody has questions for Shazad, you could put them in. You can put them in the chat. You can unmute yourself and ask live. That's fine. We have kind of a small team. And while you're preparing your questions, Shazad, I'm excited because I'm going to attend your luxury seminar in December. Can you tell me about, or tell everyone about what you're doing and, what will come out of that day?
Yeah, so we are doing, thank you very much, Karen. So we are doing a futuristic luxury trend seminar, a kind of a workshop for a day. We're doing on 15 December at Harvard Club, New York. It's a whole day. We're starting at 10 o'clock, finishing at 5 o'clock with lunch, breakfast, coffee, and all that stuff. But we will be doing a roller coaster workshop on futuristic trends in luxury. And it's, I think the links and everything is available on Accessories Council events and newsletter as well. But you can contact me at the Future Connoisseurs as well, and contact Karen as well. So this is what we're doing. We are having a very small group of very, I would say, versatile, intelligent people in the room for the entire day, where we will try to map out the futuristic trends of luxury for the entire day. So that's what we're doing.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Okay, quiet group today. Any questions? Anything about your own brands or companies or thoughts while we have Shazad here? Okay, so what I'm going to do is
I have
go ahead, Deb.
here. Hi, everyone. Hi. I was starting to
Deborah.
type it. Hi, I was starting to type it, and I was just like, you know what? Let me just ask this question. It's quicker. How are you, Shazad?
Very good. Thank you very much.
Good. My question is this. I'm a luxury brand, and you mentioned that you shouldn't have stock when you are a luxury brand. And unfortunately, based on bad advice, I did have some stock. But my question is, so if you are a luxury brand, is it where you should place an order when you get an order? And it also sounds like it's in the area of being a custom designer, if you're not going to have stock. And I like that you explained why not to have stock if you are a luxury brand. I never knew that, and that was excellent.
Thank you very much, Deborah. See, the point is, and remember we said designer luxury. Luxury is something else, and designer luxury is something. Designer luxury is more about the bespoke. it's more about made to measure. So when you're designer luxury, definitely you should not have stock. You should have samples. You should have examples. You should have models. You should have, like for example, the art pieces of your creativity, that what you're capable of. But obviously, because because I have dealt with so many clients like that, if they are clients, they will wait because they know some masterpiece is being done and created just for them, and it is one only in the entire world, unique piece. So they will wait. Not only they will wait, they will pay the price you want, and they will appreciate what you're doing. So I'm always the advocate of creating things, because not only that will establish you as a designer. Let me share you something very interesting. At the Future Connoisseurs, which is my company, it's an industry body on futuristic designers. What we have is we have a pool of connoisseurs. Connoisseurs are those guys who basically, when they want to buy something, for example, somebody want to buy a fragrance, connoisseurs normally do not buy fragrances from their store. They do not buy even online. When they want to buy a fragrance, they would like to sit with a perfumer, create a fragrance that matches their personality, their skin type, their daily routine, their choices, and then a perfumer create a bottle of fragrances that is the unique matches with them. I see any designer, any futuristic luxury designer creating these kind of stuff, and I have seen so many of them are adapting into it.
I see. Okay. Very good. Thank you.
Welcome, Deborah.
Great
I,
question.
I have a question. I don't know if can you hear me?
Yeah, I
Yes.
can hear you.
Yes, how are you? I'm Alessandra. I'm the creative and founder of Coe. I have a question because my product, I can make it in different materials, so which obviously attack different markets. So I can make my accessories in brass, which is around $40, and I can make it in gold and diamonds, which goes to the luxury market. Now, my question is, if I pursue to attack, right now I'm dabbing in a little bit in all of it, more of in the brass market and silver, but I'm doing custom pieces for customers in gold and diamonds. So my question is, if I really focus on the luxury market, do you think that I have to completely shut down the lower bracket of the market, or I can actually, as a brand, attack all the luxury as well as more of a generic, pieces for children and all of that? Would that hurt? Should I just focus on one, or is it feasible to do a little bit of all of them?
Thank you very much, Alessandra. Okay, first of all, I have maybe you can share my business advice with you to start with. For sure, you should not mix two together. For sure, that's 100% correct. You should not mix. So if you want, but again, on this other side, I don't want you to shut down your silver brass, which is going good, which is giving you revenue, which is maybe running your expenses. I would not recommend you to shut it down, but I would definitely say to create a separate brand name for one of these. So either you create a separate brand name for your gold and diamond designer, or you create a separate name for your brass and mass market or the mid market. I would say create two different brands and create your two identities. Most of these top brands have their prestige and luxury segments all together, which is, I think, a very intelligent way of doing things, because your cost of business remains very minimalistic rather than and then you also you can create your revenue and profitability through different positionings. But if I know you, if I'm a luxury consumer, a luxury customer to you, and if I see you are doing a lot of for example, with $15,000 of worth of pieces, and you have $40 worth of pieces as well, I will say, what is she doing? So I would say create a brand, one of these two, and then because your entire target market is different, your entire strategy is to be different, your entire packaging communication has to be different. So you cannot mix these two for sure. But I will not recommend to shut down or focus on one. I would say keep both unless you feel confident. One of them is taking care of of your objectives, what you want to achieve.
Thank you so much. That's very clarifying. I really appreciate it. Thank
You're
you.
most welcome, Alison.
Yeah, thank you.
Great advice.
Yeah,
Any,
fabulous. Thank you.
any other questions?
I have a question. Good morning. Good afternoon. Adam. Hello, Karen. So I am a baby brand. I'm in diapers. I launched this October, and all of my pieces are um, in silver, gold vermeil, and in gold when requested. And as you mentioned before, I only have stock when I do in-person shows, which I have one on Thursday. I need to have it, right? But besides that, everything is made to order. Something about my brand, and this is where my question, maybe you can even help me arrange my question, is that I have my what differentiates my brand is that I have interchangeable pieces. So I have 3 different collections, like let's say earrings, and the interchangeable piece are going to be the jackets that I have. Now, I made sure that I have variety of different looks and styles for all, not all, but for the consumers, right? Now, my interchangeable pieces are the pieces that I'm looking to be on the higher end. Not that it will be so different from the base, but that's where I'm going to be using gold and tourmaline or gold and tanzanite or silver and tanzanite. And I want to make them in very limited quantities so they become collector pieces. I'm still going through the process of getting Fairmine Gold certified. And I have many other things that I want to do, as far as having a small interior design collection, like interior tabletop items and such, and a small furniture line. My background is in architecture, so I have like going on. So I have to like narrow it down. And I guess my question is, do you think that my approach of doing it that way to make, especially because I'm just starting, to make sure that I'm starting obviously in the low to mid range pricing, but I want to get to the higher price item because I want to use nicer stones, and I am going to be using Fairmine Gold, and I'm going to grow the brand into different levels of things. So I guess my question would be, is that the right strategy, or is there something that you suggest that I do instead of? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Anna. What I understood from your question is, I would say, see, the point is you cannot mix two. That's number one, which I talked to Alessandra about it as well. You cannot mix two. That's number one. That's I'm very clear about. The other thing, what you need to do is that you can, elevating a brand from medium to luxury is one, it's not an easy job to start with. And second, it will take a lot of time. I'm not a fan of, because now the times have changed. We do not have 20 years, 30 years to build a brand and do. The minute we spend our marketing dollars, we want them in return. If I spend $1, I need $1 back, not even $1. I want 10 cents on that. So we don't have time. So in order to do that, I would never create. So I would first decide what my market segment is and where I am going to target my products to. And then from there, I package, communicate, and price them and market them accordingly. But I will not take the route of creating, for example, a mid-market brand like premium to prestige and then to luxury and then to designer. I would rather go stay there because it will take time for getting the consumers understand my brand, my communication. So I will not waste the time to make it growing up over the time, but I will go straight and start communicating and launching it.
That's great. Hey, Deb, popped another question in the chat. What is the best way to find customers in the luxury target bracket? I think you got a little bit of that in.
Yeah, it's very
technology.
generic.
Yeah.
Alizarian have his hand is up.
Yeah.
Yes. Hello.
Hi.
Hi. So my name is Alzarina. I have a brand, Alzarina, that I have been growing for a few years, but since 2014, I find a niche into the actually 2012, I find a niche on online sales, which I separated my brand Alzarina, and I created a second name, a second brand, which is Alzi by Alzarina, that I would sell online, such as companies such as Groupon or the TV shows and things like that. And as you were talking about stock, I did create, before pandemic, I had a company asking me for a certain amount of two particular earrings, which I had to make, like one, I think 4,000 pieces, and another one around 6,000 pieces. So, which is still sitting on my on my warehouse, because just after we finished that, the COVID hit, so the company canceled that order. And going back to your explanation on not to create any stock if if you don't have that the market right away. And I wish I knew that before. And so what would be your advice for me going forward, or something like that, if I have a contract that would ask me to create that many pieces in advance without giving any percentage of the cost?
Alzarina, thank you very much for asking, and I feel very sorry to hear that. That's something very unfortunate. We should not go through this. This is very, very unfortunate. The only advice I can give you right away is turn that stock into dollars. If not, if forget about the full price, try to turn them into dollars ASAP. It's an old saying of business: always regret after selling. Do not regret keeping it. Always regret after selling. It's better to regret after selling. So I would advise regret after selling. So sell that damn thing out. Don't keep it with you.
That's exactly what I'm working. It's been my reaching out.
Turn them into dollars, into cents, but whatever that is, get rid of them.
Yep. Thank you.
Yeah, good advice. It's we're working on that, Alzarina.
Yes.
We're trying to help anyway. Any other questions?
I do. Thank you, Karen, actually. And Shazad, following the question I've asked and your answer, my brand name is actually very unique. I got a trademark on it called Kowi, Kowi, which I was very fortunate to create this name that really means nothing. So it became like a category name. Now, in order for me to, because I will do that now, focus on creating another brand, should I use the Kowi and create like Kowi Kids or Kowi something, or create a whole different name completely if I do the mass and the luxury? What is your opinion on that?
If you're talking about mass and luxury, that's what the word I was waiting for, if you say that. If you're talking about mass and luxury, totally different name.
Right.
Because if you're talking about like prestige or luxury and designer, that would be a little bit closer. But if you're talking about mass market and luxury,
Different.
East and West.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you. Appreciate
No
it.
problem. No problem.
All right, well, thank you all for spending your lunch break with us. And Shazad, thank you for your time. I will email everyone if you want information about the event in New York. It's at the Harvard Club on the 15th of December. Should be a really great day. And
we're giving discounts through Accessories Council, by the way.
oh, great, even better. Discounts. Excellent. So you can reach out to me or reach out to Shazad for more information on that. And stay tuned. Hopefully everyone looks at our newsletters every Tuesday because we have lots of great stuff coming up. And I look forward to seeing everyone and talking to you all real soon.
Thank you very much, Karen. And thank you very much for all the attendees. I really loved and enjoyed talking to all of you. And thank you very much for listening to me. I hope I can make some difference somewhere. I'll keep on trying.
No, great advice. We appreciate your time and talk to everyone soon.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you, guys.